Hi, welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I'm Theresa and this is Love Authentic Me. Today I have, if I'm pronouncing this right, please correct me, you've got a wrong, Katherine Brooke MacKenzie.
That's correct.
Hi Katherine, welcome. If you'd like to explain what it is you do.
Okie dokie. I run the Healthy Gut Clinic in Chippenham, which is in Wiltshire. And we offer a range of services that are targeted to support people with digestive problems, gut issues. We have various services like colonic hydrotherapy, what used to be called colonic irrigation. I also offer a gut microbiome reset program, which is very exciting, and I'll tell you about that later. And a couple of other things that are supportive, kind of holistic treatments like massage and Psyche, which is something that you use to change limiting subconscious beliefs.
So that sounds interesting. It's a lovely one. Okay, so I have been asking everyone the same questions. Describe yourself in 3 words and why.
I love these questions. It really makes you think, doesn't it? I would say I'm honest. I think integrity in business and personally. I think you have to be the same person in business as you are, in your personality, your natural personality. So I think that integrity, that comes under the heading of kind of honesty, really, and authenticity, about who you are. I'm sincere. You pretty much get what it says on the tin with me. Sometimes that can be hard to process for some people. And I think people would say I was kind. Yeah, I think I'm kind. I think kindness, it's not always about fluff and loveliness. Sometimes it's about being firm. The cruel to be kind, if you like, but without being cruel. So honest, sincere, kind, I think. There's probably a few others.
Qualities as well. Obviously, and kindness and kind to self as well. And being kind.
Absolutely, yeah. Self-compassion, very important, yeah.
And like the big one, and I always love this one, being relational to me, is what are you passionate about?
Well, I thought about this quite a bit, and I think overall, the kind of overarching thing for me is about realizing potential for myself and also for others, because human beings are we are phenomenal creatures, and we're capable of so much stuff, but we just get trapped in our beliefs, the stuff that we're kind of taught when we're little. And and I just think if we start asking questions about who we are and what our life is all about, then we'll realize that there's a lot more that we're capable of that we just don't recognize. Really.
Yeah, I love that side of things. I totally agree. And what would friends and family say is your greatest gift? And I was asking people because often people you can be complimentary, or what do people compliment you on of other people, but sometimes to stop and actually think, what is it that my gifts are, or what is it that's generally what someone will compliment you for, even if it's something, you really are really lovely, kind person, or what would you say friends and family would say is your greatest gift?
God, again, that's it's one of those sort of blowing your trumpet sort of things, isn't it? And we're usually much more comfortable with the difficult stuff. So I was recently told by a couple of sources of people whose opinions I would hold in high esteem, that I'm quite an inspirational person. That's quite hard for me to say. But that was their feeling about me, and it was quite a surprise. And so that I really, really enjoyed that and kind of explored that as a new sensation. But also probably a sense of humour. I think I've got a bit of a wicked sense of humour, and I think generally people like that. And it helps having a sense of humour when you're dealing with poo, which is what I do mostly. It's quite useful.
Yeah, actually, I was going to say you need to, as well. I mean, a sense of humour actually for well-being is amazing. I can't remember the name of the guy, but I know Louise Hay used to always mention this guy that laughed himself better, because laughter is really, really good for us as well. So really important.
Giggle therapy, yeah.
Yeah, giggle therapy. It's to helping people. Okay. What led you to do what you're doing?
Well, I mean, it's not. I always say it's not the career choice of the masses, right? Dealing with people's poo and bottoms and all things guts. So really, it is my own life experience. When I was in my mid-teens, I only realised fairly recently that my experience actually would be sort of what would qualify as trauma, which I didn't realize. From a family breakdown and things like that in my history, and that caused me to go off the rails and make choices really which were a bit like the sex, drugs and rock and roll kind of coping strategy, which might sound cool in the right context, but it isn't really. And at some point those choices catch up in terms of ill health. So I had all sorts of lots of bowel related problems, constipation. I used to get migraines regularly, menstrual issues. I was a very angry person, very depressed. It was not a pretty picture. And I think at some point you reach a critical point in your life when you realize you've got to make changes or you're going to find yourself under the grass. And I made changes, and excuse me, had a couple of colonic treatments, and it just, I think my body enjoyed the cleansing aspect of it, but it really enabled me to release a lot of trapped emotions of lots of deep pain and shame for the choices I'd made. And it was really like a clean slate being given me, like an apology really to myself. And I was just so amazed by it. I went off to do my training, and that was 15 years ago. So been doing it a long time.
I obviously, knowing about the spiritual side, that gut is the emotional center, and I often talked about, and kind of I personally suffered, so it's close to my heart what you do with IBS for many years.
Right.
Until I got my mindfulness and my balance in myself right. And obviously that gut health is a really big thing. So that's why I'm really
it's like it's a real big buzzword now. It's I think it's what's called a mega trend. Gut health. When I started talking about the branding of my business, a branding expert said, "Oh, don't use the word gut. It creates a horrible image." And I just thought, well, maybe it does, but we need to embrace this. It might not be very pretty, but it needs dealing with. So it's funny, but now, of course, now that's all changing. So gut health is so many studies being done on the microbiome and things.
Yeah. So I was going to say, to get to where you are at the moment, what has been your biggest challenge, and how did you get over that? Because obviously, this is our authentic stories.
It's again, you got to look yourself in the eye. It's kind of easy when you're on your way, but really crippling low self-esteem and low self-confidence would have been the underpinning and undermining issues that I probably have had most of my life. And I think to get over that, it literally is courage. First off, it's simply to know that you're going to be afraid when you're stepping outside of your comfort zone. Just to acknowledge the fact that you will be afraid. It's not. I think courage isn't something that you don't need. You always need courage. In that moment of vulnerability when you're stepping outside, or it's to expect to be scared and not be put off by the feeling of being scared. Just think, okay, this is how it feels when I'm scared, and I'm still going to do it. And then gradually, my confidence has increased. I mean, I couldn't have dreamt of even doing this with you, Theresa, even as little as 18 months ago. So it's an ongoing, application of courage, really.
I totally relate to that. That's one of my words for my 3 words that and courage for myself to do things and push myself out of that comfort zone. And I think that it's to inspire others. You need to do that. And it to show other people that actually the more you do it, and the more you do it, the more easier it gets, and it becomes familiar to be okay.
And to be okay, if you're messing it up, it's like, okay, well, I mess it up, I'll try that again. And it's like a baby would never walk, would it? If it never got up again, it's just as we get older, it just gets a bit more tough, I guess.
I know, that reminds me Abraham Hicks' words when she talks about that. She said, we rock with ourselves. You wouldn't say to a baby, get up, you little dummy, you haven't you've fallen down. Kind of, you wouldn't do that, would you? Because
haven't you sorted that out yet?
that rang through my head. And who and what is your biggest influence?
This is a tricky one, really, because like straight away you might think of big kind of inspirational gurus like people like Tony Robbins, or you said Abraham Hicks. These people they've all played a part. Even Louise Hay that you mentioned earlier. I mean, all these books have been instrumental in my personal development. and what I really feel is like I've been put here for a purpose. So I think everybody has, but it's like my whole journey, although at the time wasn't clear, it seems to, like, as I look back on it, makes real sense. And I feel like there's a message that I'm here to share. So I think my greatest driver, you could say influence or something, is just to be of service.
Yeah.
Somehow. So I'd say the universe is my is my biggest inspiration, because I don't want to go to my deathbed and think, oh, I could have done more or helped more people or something, and I didn't show up.
Yeah.
And that's quite a big influence for me.
Yeah, I think that's important as well. I listen to Brendan Burchard, and that's one of the things he says.
Oh, Brendan Burchard, I love Brendan.
I know, I love Brendan. And he's got his high performance planner here by me. But how do you show up? How can you be of service? And asking yourself that every day makes a difference. Even in the little things, it changed how I would interact with my family. So even if it's something like, my partner's really busy today, working a long shift, if I take the bins out, then I'm doing something to serve him in a way. Yeah. So I'm being like that for people, and it's just reminding people as well that they can do that too. And how you think about things is really different. So what do you do in the mornings when you first wake up? I mean, it's interesting what everyone has said.
This actually follows on really beautifully from what you were just saying, because it is that, to me, what I've noticed is that my first thoughts of the day will create a framework for how that day pans out. So you can either choose to be grumpy and miserable, because sometimes we are when we wake, or I can just recognize that, if I choose, it's not about being like kind of mindlessly optimistically happy, in the face of everything, but just to kind of accept, I think, what comes, and to choose to honor myself, honor other people, in whatever form. Like you said, it could be just putting the bins out, but to do it with a gracious heart, and a happy outlook makes a difference. I mean, I can't always manage it. And once I've done that, I then go and make a cup of tea.
That's coming up, definitely, I think, as a big part of all the wellness interviews, and having that time in order to do that, and that connection. And so then I've got asked you, so what are the 5 things that you do personally for your wellness? And I'm sure this will come into what it is you do as well, maybe to touch on.
Yeah, I think, I mean, obviously eating well, eating regularly, nourishing your body and your soul, whatever, whether that be with food or good thoughts or positive situations, surrounding yourself with good energies of people. And of course, the same thing is removing yourself from situations which don't serve you, not getting drawn into other people's drama. It's learning when to step away. I think that's quite important as well. So I don't know how many things that is, actually. I sleep well. I'm really quite dedicated to rest and creating space in which to process. I think that's really important as well for me. I drink quite a lot of water. And I think this is really important, and it might be sort of tied in with my job, but I clean up things as I go. So if I've got perhaps a difficult relationship or a situation which makes me feel discomforted in my body, I will sort that out. I'll tackle it head on. And I don't mean that in an aggressive way. I mean I will contact it. I don't let things fester and brew. I just feel like I need to go through my life in a very clean, and I think that's like an integrity thing again. I need to be able to look myself in the eye about all my dealings, really. Of course, I'm sure I don't get it all right all the time, but that's my intention.
Yeah, I think that's a good intention to have for lots of people. Inspiring. So, what the next question was, what do you hope to do in the next 5 years, or what have you feel like you've achieved for yourself over the last 5 years, depending on how you feel?
Oh gosh, well, I think life is, was it John Lennon who said, life is what happens when you're busy making plans. And I think my husband and I, we always say, like, these are the days of our lives. So it's not about being happy when, it is about, recognizing that today is where you're at. I think it's important to congratulate yourself when you have made progress. So that requires, reflection on past, doesn't it? Where I'd like to be in 5 years, I'd like more financial stability, because my business is growing and kind of evolving all the time, and that always takes resources. I think that's just investment, and it kind of has to go like that. But I feel like I'd like things to sort of balance out a little bit. I've just done a a 21-day, I think I said this, like a gut microbiome reset program, which has just blown me out of the water. I'm really excited about sharing that with more people. And so yeah, in 5 years' time, I'd like to be seeing myself with more opportunities to speak and just share the message really about the importance of gut health.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to say, how can, so it's about winding it up, but how can people get hold of you, and what have you got going on at the moment? So you mentioned the 21-day cleanse. Is that something that people can contact you to do?
Yeah, very much so. Yep. I mean, all of this is kind of under construction at the moment, and in terms of going out on the website. But so we've got the Healthy Gut Clinic website, which is thehealthygutclinic.co.uk. I also do public presentations speaking about well, poo and related things and gut health. So that's a website talking about thebrownstuff.com. Awesome. I thought that was kind of somewhere in the middle, really. Everybody knows what it means, don't they? We're on Facebook at Healthy Poo and Instagram, the Healthy Gut Clinic. So there's a few ways there to get hold of me. And if you want to find more about the microbiome reset program, then just email me at resetyourmicrobiome@gmail.com.
Awesome, that's brilliant. And we'll add the links in below when we share this on the page. And thank you, Catherine. Thank you for that. That's brilliant. Thank you everyone for watching, and have a wonderful day. Sending love and blessings to you all.
Thank you, Theresa.
And then I cut